But as she spent more time with Kofi, she began to notice something else about him. He wasn't just interested in her yogurt. He was interested in her. She couldn't deny the truth. "I'm sorry, Kwame. I didn't mean for it to happen. Kofi and we've become close. What if something happens to you? You've been so focused on success that you've ignored the people who matter most." Maya's heart sank. She hadn't meant for it to go this far, but now it was too late. Maya looked down at her hands, guilt flooding her. "I didn't think it would get this far," she whispered. "But Kwame, people need this. My yogurt. It's the only thing I know how to do. We needed the money." Maya lived in the small village of Ujima, a place where everyone knew everyone's business. She was a hard-working woman with a small but popular food stall at the village market. Her special recipe was for a creamy, delicious yogurt that had earned her the love and respect of the villagers. Maya was proud of her yogurt, and it was the one thing that brought in enough money to feed her family. Maya's husband, Kwame, was a teacher at the local school, and they had 2 children, a son named Kofi and a daughter named Amina. Maya's life seemed peaceful, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The market was her escape. It was where she felt most alive, where she connected with the world outside her home. One afternoon, while Maya was preparing a batch of yogurt, disaster struck. She had just realized that she had run out of milk from her cow. The market was about to open, and she had no time to go to the neighbor's farm to get more. Desperation began to creep in. Maya looked down at her daughter Amina, who was sitting on the floor beside her, playing with her toys. She was breastfeeding Amina, as she always did every day. Maya suddenly had an idea that both shocked and intrigued her. "What if my breast milk could be the key to making the best yogurt I've ever made?" Maya hesitated for only a moment. She knew it sounded strange, but she had always heard that breast milk was the purest form of nourishment. Maybe this would be the boost her yogurt needed to stand out even more. She decided to give it a try. With a deep breath, Maya carefully mixed some of her own breast milk into the batch of yogurt she was preparing. As she stirred, she felt a strange mixture of excitement and guilt. What if people found out? What if they thought she was crazy? She pushed the thoughts aside and finished preparing the yogurt. The village market was about to open, and she hoped her gamble would pay off. The next morning, as the sun rose over the hills of Ujima, Maya opened her stall. She was nervous, unsure of how people would react to the new yogurt, but she kept her worries to herself. She placed a small sign in front of her stall: "Fresh yogurt today, the secret ingredient." Maya's first customer of the day was Aisha, a neighbor who had been coming to Maya's stall for years. She took a spoonful of the yogurt and paused, her eyes widening in surprise. "Maya," Aisha said slowly, this is incredible. What did you do to it? It's smoother, creamier, and so much richer than usual." Maya smiled and shrugged. "Oh, just a little something new. I'm glad you like it." Word spread quickly through the market. Maya's yogurt was better than ever. The villagers came in droves to buy it. People from neighboring villages heard about the new yogurt and came to Ujima just to taste it. Maya watched in disbelief as her business exploded overnight. What had once been a small, local stall had now become the most popular food stop in the entire region. Her husband, Kwame, was proud of her success but was also confused by the sudden change in the yogurt's taste. "What's your secret, Maya?" he asked one evening as they sat together after dinner. Maya smiled, but she didn't tell him the truth. She couldn't. She wasn't sure if she even believed it herself. But deep down, she knew it was the breast milk that made all the difference. As Maya's yogurt gained more popularity, a wealthy businessman from the city, named Kofi Osei, came to Ujima to see what all the fuss was about. He was well known in the region for investing in local businesses and turning them into large, successful enterprises. Kofi tasted Maya's yogurt and immediately saw the potential. "Maya," he said with a smile, this yogurt is extraordinary. I can make you a lot of money. If you're willing to partner with me, we can turn this into something bigger than you ever imagined." Maya felt a flutter in her chest. This was the opportunity she had dreamed of. Kofi's offer was tempting. He was charming, successful, and good-looking, with a magnetic personality that made everyone around him feel special. But as she spent more time with Kofi, she began to notice something else about him. He wasn't just interested in her yogurt. He was interested in her. There was an undeniable chemistry between them. Maya couldn't help but feel drawn to him, despite the fact that she was married to Kwame. One evening, after a long day at the market, Kofi invited Maya to a private dinner. They sat under the stars, sharing food and talking about business, but there was an undercurrent of flirtation between them. As the night wore on, Kofi's gaze lingered on Maya, and she felt her heart race. He leaned in closer, his voice low and smooth. "Maya," he whispered, "I think you're more than just a great businesswoman. You're something special. I can see the passion in your eyes. I want to be a part of your success, but I also want to be a part of your life." Maya felt a mix of excitement and guilt. She knew she shouldn't be feeling this way. She was a married woman, and she loved Kwame. But Kofi made her feel alive in a way that Kwame hadn't in years. As Maya's business grew, so did her feelings for Kofi. She found herself spending more and more time with him, discussing business, laughing, and sharing intimate moments. Kwame, on the other hand, became distant. He noticed the change in his wife, but he couldn't put his finger on what was wrong. He trusted Maya completely, but something felt off. One evening, as Maya returned home late from a meeting with Kofi, Kwame confronted her. "Maya," he said quietly, "you've been spending a lot of time with Kofi. What's going on? You're different. I can see it in your eyes. Are you having an affair with him?" Maya's heart sank. She hadn't meant for it to go this far, but now it was too late. She couldn't deny the truth. "I'm sorry, Kwame. I didn't mean for it to happen. Kofi and we've become close." Kwame's face fell, and his eyes filled with hurt. "You've betrayed me, Maya. I trusted you, and now I see that you've been lying to me." Maya broke down in tears. She didn't want to lose Kwame, but at the same time, she couldn't deny the feelings she had for Kofi. It was a painful, messy situation, and Maya didn't know how to fix it. Maya spent the next few weeks torn between her loyalty to her husband and her growing attraction to Kofi. She tried to push Kofi away, but he wouldn't let her go so easily. "Maya," he said one day, "you have a choice. You can stay with Kwame and keep living a life that no longer makes you happy, or you can be with me and create something new, something exciting." Maya was torn. But in the end, it was the love for her family that won out. She realized that her relationship with Kwame, despite its struggles, was more important than her fleeting feelings for Kofi. She had built a life with him, and she wasn't willing to destroy it for something uncertain. Maya went to Kwame and apologized, asking for his forgiveness. "I made a mistake, and I promise it won't happen again," she said, tears in her eyes. "I love you, and I want to make things right." It wasn't easy, but Maya and Kwame worked through their issues. Maya stopped seeing Kofi, and while she never forgot the excitement he brought into her life, she realized that true happiness was found in the love and trust she had with her family. Maya hesitated for a moment, unsure if it was right. But the thought of losing her business, the only thing that supported her family, pushed her forward. She poured a small amount of her own breast milk into the yogurt mixture. At first, she felt a pang of guilt, but then she quickly reassured herself. "It's just a little," she thought, "it's only for today." The next morning, Maya opened her food stall as usual. The sun was high in the sky, and people were already gathering around, eager to taste her famous yogurt. As she served the first customers, something unexpected happened. One by one, they tasted the yogurt, their eyes widening in surprise. Maya. This is different, said Auntie Abina, one of her regular customers. It's so creamy, so rich. What's your secret today? Maya smiled nervously, trying to keep her voice calm. Oh, just a little extra care in the preparation, Auntie, she said, though inside, she was holding her breath. By the end of the day, every last jar of yogurt was sold out. Customers were coming back for more, their faces glowing with delight. Word spread quickly throughout the village, and soon, people from neighboring towns were visiting Ujima to try Maya's special yogurt. Over the next few weeks, Maya's yogurt became a sensation. She was now the talk of the region, and business was booming. But with success came pressure. Maya couldn't keep up with the demand, and she was forced to make more and more yogurt, using her own breast milk to meet the needs of her growing customer base. At first, it felt like a small victory. The money she earned from her sales helped her family live more comfortably, and Maya began to feel a sense of pride that she hadn't experienced before. But as the weeks passed, Maya's life began to change in ways she hadn't expected. Her husband, Kwame, who was always supportive, started to notice something odd. He found that Maya was becoming more distant, more anxious. Her eyes, which had once been bright and full of life, now appeared tired, almost hollow. When he asked her about it, Maya would brush him off with a quick excuse, saying she was just busy with work. It was a cool evening when Kwame returned home early from school, hoping to spend some time with Maya and the children. He walked into their small kitchen and froze. There, sitting on the table, was Maya's newest batch of yogurt. But this time, something was different. The pot was filled to the brim, and the texture of the yogurt was even thicker than before. Kwame's eyes narrowed as he noticed something that made his heart race with suspicion. A small, clear jar of breast milk was placed next to the pot, almost as if it had been carefully measured. Maya froze, her hand shaking slightly as she wiped the counter. She looked at her husband, and for a brief moment, their eyes locked. Then, Maya sighed and sat down, unable to hide the truth any longer. Yes, she admitted. I've been using my milk, and it's been working wonders. People love it. We've never had so much money before. Kwame was silent, his face filled with shock and disbelief. He had always supported Maya, but this felt like a betrayal, not just to him, but to their family. Maya, this isn't right, Kwame said, his voice trembling. You're using your own body to make money. What about our daughter? What if something happens to you? You've been so focused on success that you've ignored the people who matter most. Maya looked down at her hands, guilt flooding her. I didn't think it would get this far, she whispered. But Kwame, people need this. My yogurt. It's the only thing I know how to do. We needed the money.